You ever take a 5-minute break and somehow it turns into an hour? Like you blink for a second and suddenly the sun is in a completely different position. You tell yourself, let me just check something really quick. Just one thing. That's it. But a few minutes later, you're watching a video of a guy explaining how penguins propose to each other. And the weird part is, you don't even like penguins. Here's the part that doesn't make sense at first. You weren't trying to waste time. You didn't sit down thinking, yeah, I'm going to lose the next hour of my day. You just wanted a short break, something quick, something harmless. But that break somehow turns into a complete detour. And when you finally look back at what you were doing, it suddenly feels 10 times harder to return to. So you tell yourself, okay, I'll start again in a bit. And without really noticing it, your whole day starts to drift off track. This isn't random, by the way. There's actually a system behind it. Whenever you're working on something even slightly difficult, your brain is already using effort to stay focused, and focus by itself is tiring. So the moment you reach for your phone, you're not just taking a break, you're switching into a completely different environment. Work is slow. It requires effort, and the reward usually comes later. Your phone, on the other hand, is fast. It's easy, and the reward is instant. So your brain makes a very simple decision. Yeah, we're staying here. Not because you're lazy, but because you just switched to something your brain naturally prefers and doesn't want to leave. And this next part is what most people don't fully realize. Your phone isn't neutral. It's carefully designed to keep your attention. Every scroll leads to something new. Every video is followed by another one. And nothing really tells you when to stop. There's no clear ending. Only the next thing waiting for you. Which means your 5-minute break was never really going to stay 5 minutes. Now when you try to go back to your task, it feels heavier than before, slower than before, more boring than before, and harder than it actually is. That's because your brain just adjusted to fast, constant, low-effort stimulation. So naturally, your work now feels like a downgrade. And instead of continuing, you end up taking another break, and then another. And without realizing it, you're stuck in a loop. This is how you can feel busy all day, and still feel like you didn't really get anything done. It doesn't happen in big, obvious ways. It happens in small moments that seem harmless at the time. One quick break, one quick scroll, one quick check. Each one feels insignificant on its own, but together, they quietly take hours away from you. So how do you fix this without making it complicated? Not by deleting everything, not by forcing yourself to become extremely disciplined overnight. Just make one small change. Don't use your phone as your break, because your phone isn't actually a break. It's a completely different world that pulls you in. Instead, keep your break simple. Stand up for a minute, walk around a little, drink some water, or just sit there and do nothing for a moment. It might feel boring, but that's exactly why it works. You're giving your brain rest without pulling it into something it won't want to leave. The goal isn't to avoid taking breaks. Breaks are necessary. The problem starts when your break quietly turns into an escape. Because once you fully leave your focus, it becomes much harder to come back to it. So the next time you tell yourself, just 5 minutes, just remember, you're not really taking a break. You're stepping away from it completely.